the carrier rocket. We evaluate the risks and also try to resolve all of these challenges. And on site, we are seeing that at this time, so for the Tianzhou-10 cargo spacecraft, it also carry some of the daily supplies and also some of the low temperature scientific samples. So we have to ensure that for some of these low temperature samples can be transported to the space in less than 3.5 hours. So we will see that this is a breakthrough for our major technical upgrades and improvements. So for also some of these samples will be sent to the space, and this will also help us to do some of the space science and technology experiments. We all know that for China, we have sent a number of the cargo spacecraft into the China Space Station. This also bringing a lot of the conveniences to the China Space Station and also the tachonauts. So we would say that for the Tianzhou-10 cargo spacecraft, it's just like a delivery guy. So in such a vibrant May, we are about to experience another miracle for the launch of the cargo spacecraft into the space. So this time we are seeing that it is not just the launch of the cargo spacecraft, it is also a significance for about the launch of the mission, and also it can also shows the national rejuvenation. The Tianzhou-10 cargo spacecraft, I've just mentioned that for the Tianzhou series of the cargo spacecraft has continued to bring in goods into the space and also bring a lot of the conveniences for the scientific research and technology experiments. As we just mentioned for many times, for the cargo spacecraft, it is a very important part for the development for the future's the Chinese space station. So right now, we all know that we have this larger scale of the cargo transport capacity, and in the future, we will continue to improve the transport capacity. And because in the future, we would like to explore more possibilities in the deep space. And also, we would like to bring in more supplies into the space. So first about the capacity, and the second is the quality of the supplies we bring into the space. And also we have to consider the cost and also the frequency of the launch of the spacecraft. So right now, so for every 1 year, we would like to put in to send one cargo spacecraft into the space, but in the future, we will continue to see whether we can carry more goods and supplies into the space station. For example, we all know that we don't have enough fresh fruits into the space, and the people are very concerned that maybe in the future we can increase the frequency for the launch of the spacecraft. And also we have to collect some of the scientific samples, for example, sent into the orbit and the space centers. And also we are considering for some of the cargo spacecraft, maybe they're in low cost for the launch. And of course, we have to consider the recycling aspect for the launch of the spacecraft. So we all know that in the space, it is in a vacuum situation, and also we have to ensure that we have a very good endurance of the cargo spacecraft. And if we can send sufficient scientific samples into the space, it can help the scientists to do more in the space. And also we can bring back some of the samples from the space to the ground to continue our scientific experiments. And of course, we have to explore more possibilities to launch the cargo spacecraft in different areas and different places in the space, and to ensure the transport capacity for the cargo spacecraft. I would say all of this, it is our future direction. Once again, thank you very much for joining us. And we are continue to unveil the mystery of the space. So please stay tuned with us. We will wait for the launch of the Tianzhou-10 cargo spacecraft. So right now you can see for the 3 layers of the launch platform has been unfolded. So right now it is the last minute for adding the propellant for the Long March 7 carrier rocket. Now when we turn into the headquarters, now you can see all the stuff are ready. And pretty soon we are seeing the countdown for the launch of the Long March 7 carrier rocket. We have 12 minutes to go for the launch. So about the 400 kilometers away from us, now you can see for the Tianzhou-10, the 3 tachonauts, they are ready to receive the Tianzhou-10 cargo spacecraft. So right now for the Tianzhou-10 has been staying in the space for 190 days. So after the Tianzhou-10 cargo spacecraft enter into the space station, and then they will unpack some of the packages. So right now, the Tianzhou-10 cargo spacecraft is about to be launched in less than 10 minutes. So in Tianzhou is very close to the Wenchang Launch Center, and we have a huge amount of people they are gathering in the Tianzhou-1. They are waiting for the launch of the carrier rockets. So now we would like to connect to one of our reporters. Can you tell us more about the situation there? So 2 hours ago, when we first arrived here, now you can see we have so many people waiting here. At that time, we are still very dark, and now you can see that many people gathering here. They are waiting for the launch for the Tianzhou-10 cargo spacecraft. Now on the beach, now you can see we have more visitors coming here. We also have a lot of the aerospace fans. They are coming here to wait for the launch. And each time when we have a launch mission, we will have a huge group of people coming here and to watch the launch of the rockets. Because just a few kilometers away, we can see clearly about the launch tower. So from this angle, actually, you can see that we have the complex very clear to our audience. So in this place, we have the beach. We also have people coming here. They are waiting for the launch from their carrier rockets. So I would say this is a very grand festival for both the aerospace undertakings and also for our local people. So here it is quite visible, and also it is very cool. It is about like 26 to 27 Celsius degree, but still we can feel that we have a very thick cloud, and we are not sure whether we can see very clear about the trajectory of the carrier rocket, but we will say this is a perfect condition for the launch of the carrier rockets. So as we are coming close to the launch of the cargo spacecraft, so more and more people, they are coming here. They are waiting for the launch of the carrier rocket. So when I first come here today, I can see that not just Chinese people here, we also have some foreigners coming here to wait for the launch of the carrier rockets. Now they are holding their mobile phones. They all want to capture this special moment for the launch for the carrier rocket. So for the Tianzhou-10 cargo spacecraft, it can be considered as the world's most capable active cargo spacecraft in terms of the cargo transport capacity. So for the cargo spacecraft, they will bring in some of the daily necessities for the tachonauts, and also they will bring in some of the scientific samples into the space station. And for the Tianzhou-9, it will also bring back some of the scientific samples back to the ground. So now you can see that for some of the seeds of the corns has been grown locally in the Hainan province. And in Hainan province, not just corns, and also we have the seeds with other like agricultural products. So here, when coming here, we all want to wish a very successful launch of the Tianzhou-10 cargo spacecraft. And also, we hope that more and more scientific achievements can bring more tangible benefits to our daily life. Thank you very much. So on the beach, you can see that we have like so many people, they are holding the national flag. And also we are seeing some of the corns that is actually the seeds that are coming back from the space station. Now you can see that it's just like a carnival in the Tianzhou-1, and people are celebrating for the launch of the cargo spacecraft. Now we are seeing some of the footages from the Chinese space station. So now you can see that from these like 3 tachonauts, they are ready, and they're ready to receive the packages from the Tianzhou-10 cargo spacecraft. So from the screen, they are also checking on the status of the Tianzhou-10 cargo spacecraft. So once again, I would like to give you some of the specifications of the Tianzhou-10 cargo spacecraft. So the launching weight is about like 14 tons, and the length is 10.6 meters, consisting with the cargo module and also the propulsion module. So it also carry about nearly 6.2 tons of uplink cargos, and they plan to stay in about like 12 months in orbit docking durations. And also the total weight is about like 5.2 tons, and also the this spacecraft also carry about like 700 kilograms. And also for this like cargo spacecraft, we'll also bring in the new astrovehicular spacesuit and also the space treadmill. So now I would like to tell you more about the new astrovehicular spacesuit. So for the new spacesuit has been improved. It is like usage of this spacesuit. Especially we can see that its operational lifespan has been extended from 3 years and 15 EVAs to 4 years and 20 EVAs. And also this time you can see some of the improvements of the performance. For example, now you can see it is more flexible, and also it have a very good like thermal comfort. And the taikonauts will experience greater comfort and conveniences while wearing the suit, and also they can change the suit inside of the space station. And also for the new version of the astrovehicular spacesuit, it can also make a lot of the improvements for the human-machine interface and the operational safety. And this will bring in more like greater comfort to the astronauts. And also for the cargo spacecraft, also bringing in a huge amount of the scientific samples. So this time you can see that it has like carried about like 67 items into the Tianzhou-10 cargo spacecraft. And after all of these items arrive in the space station, and then you can see we will conduct a number of the experiments. And this time we will also do some of the experiments for the embryo, and we are also bringing in some of the rats embryos and also some of the artificial embryos. And this also can help us to analyze and do some of the research of the embryo in the space conditions. And this will also help us to lay a solid foundation for people to survive inside of the space station. And this time we will also to bring in some of the silicon solar batteries into the space. And actually the thickness is very low. It's about like 80 millimeters. And now we would like to bring in some of the solar panels into the space station. And the reason why we want to bring in some of the solar batteries into the space is want to verify the conditions to see whether it can adding to support more power supply into the China space stations. Because in the future we will continue to send more satellites and also the spacecraft into this space station. That means that we need to make sure that the batteries and also the power supply system is working in the China space station. And third, we will also to bring in some of the monitor devices to monitor the greenhouse gases, so that we can monitor the carbon emissions from the space. So actually this time for the Tianzhou-10 cargo spacecraft, it actually bringing in some of the space science samples, so it can also contribute some of the wisdoms of China for the human beings to explore the deeper space. So from the screen, now you can see the complex with the Tianzhou-10 cargo spacecraft and together with the Long March 7Y11 Karabaki. It is about to launch. So my colleague Wang Xiaodan, she is on site. So now I would like to turn to my colleague Xiaodan. So right now we are actually in the headquarters for the launch center. So now you can see this is the control center. We are only like 2 minutes away from the launch of the Long March 7 Y11 carrier rocket. So now you can see the launch tower is ready. So right now we are glad to be joined by an expert from the China Manned Space Agency, to Mr. Li, to tell us more about the launch. So first of all, can you tell us more about the condition of the carrier rocket? So at this stage, I would say all the systems are checked and ready for the launch. As you just seen from the screen. So now you can see for all of the vapors, they have been vanished because the propellant has been filled completely. So the next step, now we are just hearing the instructions, that is the 1 minute countdown. So please stay tuned with us. So for the different layers, and pretty soon for some of the swing arm will be opened. So for some of the mechanical work has been done. And later on, so we will also check some of the systems and also to collect the data from the carrier rocket. So we will say that for all of the conditions are met for the ignition. Please stay tuned with us. Now you can see the swing arm is working with our preset procedures. So right now you can see for the carrier rocket is fully ready for the launch. It is waiting for the ignition. So from the ignition to the lift off is about, we have like a 6.3 seconds interval. Yes, indeed, for the ignition, we have to ensure that the safety of the launch. Now we are hearing the countdown of the liftoff. Ignition. Now we can see that for the Long March 7 carrier rocket has been ignited and also has carried the Tianzhou-10 cargo spacecraft. And also for the 3 technonauts in the space station, they also closely monitor the situation of the launch of the Long March 7 carrier rocket. And also we are hearing some of the report from the Aerospace Control Center. We can see that for all the parameters is normal. So we have a very special procedures. That is the procedure turning of the carrier rocket. The most important part is to send all of some of the cargo spacecraft into the preset orbit. So we have to ensure that the speed of the carrier rocket, so when the carrier rocket is lifting, it has to turn in a programmed maneuver. So with this maneuver and the turn, it can satisfy our needs and requirements for the speed. So actually, for the trajectory of the carrier rocket, it is not follow a straight line. During the maneuvering, the carrier rocket will change its position, and in the end, it can send the Tianzhou-10 cargo spacecraft into the preset orbit. So now we are seeing that this is the core part of the carrier rocket. So from this area, we can see the separation of the boosters. So I can see one detail with the change of the location of the carrier rocket. Alright, now you can see the separation of the boosters. So for the Long March 7 carrier rocket, now you can see for the booster separation is very fast. Now it is the second tier of the rocket will take over the work. So for the seventh tier of the rocket, you have like a 4 engines. Now it is the separation of the fairing. So right now for the carrier rocket already coming to the 110 kilometers into the atmosphere. In the atmosphere, when we are having this like fairing, it can help us to protect the Tianzhou-10 cargo spacecraft. So on the left side, it is some of the real-time footage from the spacecraft. So actually from the left side, it seems like a still picture, but still it is actually like rising in a very fast speed. So right now the second tier of the carrier rocket is actually carrying the Tianzhou-10 cargo spacecraft continue to accelerating and head to the preset orbit. So on the right side, now you can see inside of the Tianhe module, and now we have like the 3 tachonauts. They follow closely about the launch of the Long March 7 carrier rocket. So for the Tianzhou-10 cargo spacecraft, it will carry 6.2 tons of the uplink cargo, and also it will bring in some of the daily necessities to support the tachonauts' daily life, and also they will bring in some of the scientific samples into the space. So according to the latest information, the Tianzhou-10 cargo spacecraft currently the world's most capable active cargo spacecraft in terms of the cargo transport capacity and the comprehensive in-orbit support capability. So this also poses a lot of challenge for the capability of the Long March 7 carrier rocket. As we all talk about that, for the Tianzhou-10 cargo spacecraft will be docked with the China space station. So for the Long March 7 carrier rocket, you have to follow a very precise orbit. So in order to ensure the precision, so at the front end, when we are designing the carrier rocket, the Long March 7, so we have done a lot of homework. And first of all, we have improved some of the technical parameters. And also we have a very advanced technology to design the carrier rocket. And also we are also using the Beidou 3 navigation system equipped inside of the carrier rocket. It can help us to better monitor the speed of the carrier rocket and also to ensure the precision of the carrier rocket. So that is from the navigation aspect. And also for the Long March 7 carrier rocket, in order to improve the payload efficiency, and later on, actually you can see it. As I just mentioned, that we have like 4 engines equipped with the Long March 7 carrier rocket. So we will turn off the 2 engines first, and then we will continue to use the other 2 engines to propel the carrier rocket. We want to save some of the energies for the operation of the Long March 7 carrier rocket. So with our plan, it can help us to ensure the accuracy of the trajectory of the operation of the Long March 7 carrier rocket. And pretty soon we are about to turn off the second stage engine. As I just mentioned, that for the second stage engine, we have like 4 engines altogether. For the 2 engines, also at the beginning stage, it will give more the propelling. And for the 2 Henning engines, it will ensure the location and also the precision of the altitude of the carrier rocket. And this can also help to balance the carrier rocket inside the orbit. This can ensure the stability of the flight of the Long March 7 carrier rocket. And also we can adjust the position of the carrier rocket according to our needs, so as to send the Tianzhou-10 cargo spacecraft into the preset orbit. Now we can see the 3 technonauts, they follow closely about the live coverage of the launch of the Tianzhou-10 cargo spacecraft. Because for the CSS, they are waiting for the new member, the Tianzhou-10 cargo spacecraft, into their home. And actually, they are seeing the same footages with us. So right now, you can see we have a very advanced communication advantages. Now we hear the announcement that is the turn off of the second stage engine. So now the gimbal engine has been turned off as well. Now it is the separation of the spacecraft and the carrier rocket. With the separation of the cargo spacecraft and the carrier rocket, now you can see the cargo spacecraft has been sent into the orbit. Now we are waiting for the unfolding of the solar panel. Thank you very much for your explanation. Back to the studio. All right, thank you very much for your introduction. Right now, we are continue our live coverage. Now we are follow the launch of the Tianzhou-10 cargo spacecraft launch and also the Long March 7 carrier rocket. So the ignition is at the time of 8:13 a.m. this morning. So right now you can see some of the footages from the Tianzhou-10 cargo spacecraft. We have seen like just the separation of the carrier rocket and the cargo spacecraft. So the Long March 7 carrier rocket has completed its work. Now we are waiting for the unfolding of the solar panel. So we are waiting for more information from the Tianzhou-10 cargo spacecraft. So for the Tianzhou-10 cargo spacecraft, after it enters into the orbit, it will have a 3-hour docking with the space station. That is a 3-hour plan. So why we want to achieve the 3-hour faster rendezvous and the docking. So after this separation, we have to adjust the orbit to make sure that the cargo spacecraft can come close to the space station. So just like the two athletes, they are running on the same track. So first of all, we have to make sure that the cargo spacecraft can be docked precisely to the docking space that has been set in the China space station. So precision is the key. And then we would like to reduce the docking time so that we can save some of the energy. So right now for the Tianzhou cargo spacecraft, we have testing different hours. And actually for the Tianzhou-10 cargo spacecraft, the docking can be completed within 2 hours, which is the fastest in the world. However, we think that for the Tianzhou-10, considering the complexity of the payload, now we would like to choose a plan, the 3-hour plan. So for the 3-hour plan, it's much more effective compared to the 6-hour plan. And also we can ensure the safety of the docking of the cargo spacecraft to the space station. So right now we are continuing to follow the mission of the launch of the Tianzhou-10 cargo spacecraft. And just now we are seeing that the solar panel has been successfully unfolded. That means that the Tianzhou-10 cargo spacecraft are entering into the autonomous operation. Now you can see it is quite soft and quite light for the solar panel, just like a badminton bat. So for such a solar panel, you can see it can absorb enough energy to help with the following work for the cargo spacecraft. So right now you can see that for the 3 tachonauts, they are looking forward to receiving the new member, the Tianzhou-10 cargo spacecraft. So for the cargo spacecraft, they will bring in more supplies into the space station. Because this time we all know that for the Tianzhou-10 cargo spacecraft, that they will bring in more propellant, and also they will bring in special payload equipment such as the new extravehicular spacesuit, and also it will bring in some of the fresh fruits, and also they will bring in some of the meat, the stick, and the wings, and also it will help to improve the convenience and also the comfort for the tachonauts. Now from the left side, we can see Tianzhou-10, the cargo spacecraft, is actually entering into the preset orbit. So we will say that this morning everything is on track. So we are waiting for the last minute and also the announcement of the successful launch of the mission. So after the separation of the carrier rocket and the spacecraft, now you can see that for the Tianzhou-10 cargo spacecraft is coming near to the China space station. And this time we are choosing the 3-hour plan. In the past, we are testing different plans. And we test the 6.5-hour plan, but for Tianzhou-5, it complete the faster rendezvous and the docking within 2 hours. But we still think that in terms of the reliability and the security, a 3-hour plan is more effective and reliable. So this time we're also using the 3-hour plan. So about at the noon time, we will say that for the Tianzhou-10 cargo spacecraft will be successfully docked with the China space station. So right now you can see that the solar panel has been unfolded. So this time for the cargo spacecraft, actually carrying the 6 key payloads. And the total weight is over 280 kilograms. And this will help us to do some of the liquid physics and also a lot of the scientific experiments in the space. As we just mentioned, in the Tianzhou-10 cargo spacecraft, it completed the fast rendezvous and the docking within 2 hours. However, considering all the factors, we think that 3 hours is more steady for us. So now we are coming back to the launch center, and also one of the experts and the leaders will make the announcement. Dear leaders, experts, comrades, according to the flight data and the report from the Long March 7 carrier rocket, as well as the information from the Beijing Aerospace Control Center, the Tianzhou-10 cargo spacecraft has been sent into the preset orbit. The solar panel has been unfolded and is functioning well. Now I declare the launch mission is a complete success. Thank you. All right, once again, we are seeing the red screen, so we are seeing that we have a very successful launch of the Tianzhou-10 cargo spacecraft. Now we would like to review the whole ignition procedures of the Tianzhou-10 cargo spacecraft. Dear viewers, this morning the Tianzhou-10 cargo spacecraft launch mission has been a success. At about noon, so for the Tianzhou-10 cargo spacecraft will be docked with the China space station, and also the Shenzhou-21 crew will also receive the latest cargo. Please stay tuned with us. We will bring you the latest. So this is some of the review of the launch missions. Now you can see that for the Long March 7 carrier rocket has been sent Tianzhou-10 cargo spacecraft. Now you can see the ignition has been completed, and also we will follow the conditions of the Long March 7 carrier rocket. Now we are hearing some of the reports, and we can see that for some of the parameters has been running normal. And also we are just like going through some of the program turning of the Long March 7 carrier rocket. So when the rocket is rising, the most important thing is to send out of all of these like payloads into the preset orbit. That is to send the Tianzhou-10, the cargo spacecraft, into the preset orbit. That means that we have to ensure that the speed and during the rising of the carrier rocket, so it have to follow the design of the orbit, and also in a certain precision, it have to make the turns. With the programmed turn, it can meet the requirements of the speed. So actually for the carrier rocket, it will not follow a straight trajectory. So it has been accelerating, and also you have to change the position of the carrier rocket. So when it changes its location, it will change its speed, and then it can send the Tianzhou-10 cargo spacecraft into the preset orbit.
Transforme suas ideias em resultados na caixa de entrada com a Hosting Rich. Nossa